The whole process is very simple. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open the video that you can understand what is going on and how this system is set and why you see such a big phenomena. Okay, now understand the process. This is something you have to understand what has happened and what's going on and why you observe somebody's other phone is open. Armand, your other phone. You're disconnected? Yeah. You're still there. Yep, he's out. No, we are there. It's no problem. So try to understand what is going on in the reactor space. We have 3 reactors which are sitting in this formation. And then we have a reactor which is sitting in the middle. So you have 3 spheres positioned down. But if you look at the sideway of the setting, 3 reactors are on one level and 1 reactor sits above. That's the principal reactor. So we have 3 plasmas looking sideways, sitting on the table. Can we bring the camera a bit closer? It's too far to see pictures. But we lose it, do we? Is it perfect? Yeah. Just for you because. Yeah, I see a small picture. Oh, can you open it that I see what I put there, please? Is it possible to open it? Yeah. Then we'll see the scale of it. No? Okay, it doesn't matter. We go on the live stream. Have a look at it. No. Okay, leave it there. This is better. At least we see it better than different. Okay, so what happens with okay, so in the cage you have this position when you look from the top. On the side view you have this. So what happens in every circle, in every reactor, if we look inside the reactor, we take a cross section from the reactor, you have such a position. You have the wall, you have the nanomaterial coated central column as you call it. We did this nano coating for the purpose of the nano layer has both gravitational magnetic fields, so we pin the fields into it. Then we filled it up with a gans of CO2. So the ganses literally were loaded in this shape. In time, by rotation, according to the speed, the shape of the position of the gans changes totally. You still have the center. When you start rotating, the ganses take position like this. Now, you immediately have created a gravitational magnetic field positioning. In this gap from here to here is water, which is in the mixture of the gans. And from this point on to the wall is the gans material, because you got to understand, gans, even being a plasma, we are using it in a atmospheric condition. It takes the behavior of the heavy material or the gas. So as you rotate it, it goes like a heavy material in the centrifuge to outer boundary. So what happens now? You have plasmas which are in this region, and you have a plasma of the nano-coated material in the center. You have magnetic gravitational field of the center, magnetic gravitational field of the gans. And now you have 2 systems. When a magnetic gravitational field of the gans interacts with magnetic gravitational field of the system, they create their own plasma magnetic field. And by different speeds, we change this strength of this field. But now, this is in the reactor. You have a center and the ganses around it. The second step in this development is that now you have to look at this original condition where the 4 reactors sit, or 3 reactors at the bottom and 1 on the top. There is something important to understand. In the design of this set, as you see in the lab pictures, live sessions, and from our other experiments in the lab before with the bigger motors, bigger systems, we know because we place the motors below the plate, more or less we have no interaction from the motors in the effect of the plasma created, because motors work in a matter field, plasmas work in a gravitational magnetic field. So the effect of the motors can be relatively ignored compared to what is achieved. So your magnetic field sits on that and on this version. Then we come to one point. When you look at this positioning, and when you understand the field which is created in one reactor, now we have repeated the same thing again. Now we have 3 reactors which are creating their own fields. And these are at the base. And then we have one reactor which sits somewhere up here, which its field, or if you look from the top as one plane, is like this. So as we change the gravitational magnetic field of the center, the gravitational magnetic field of reactor 1, 2, and 3, if we call them anticlockwise, start interacting with each other. And then what we achieve is very significant. If you go back into this picture, or I do it again in a bigger scale, us looking at the reactor the way you see it on your pictures, on your live stream, we have a reactor which is sitting on a plate there. We have a reactor which is here. We have a reactor in the background and reactor here. These 3 are in one plane, and this one sits above it. So now what has happened is that these gravitational magnetic fields interact spherically in this shape with each other, if you see it. And if you look at the cage, we have put our detectors not looking at any of the reactors, but looking into abyss, into field in the center of the height. So in a simple way, the figures you see is a reactor up here and 3 reactors in the base, and this they set like this, and one on the top, and the detector measures the field here in a space. So we cannot say it's the field of one core or one of the cores, because it's been specifically placed that it looks right in the center. What we've done originally, as you know, we changed, if you look at this setting, there is no difference between this setting and the setting of the single core with the center pin inside. What we've done now, we made the pin larger. We have connected this top core with a nano-coated material. We literally replicated what was in a single core in a total setting. So a nano-coated material is used to centralize the plasma of the 3 reactors on the base and the top, that the plasma does not run away in any position in the frame. So when we look at it, and the way we have mounted the nano-coated material in the center, we have fixed position, exactly as we fixed the position of the plasma inside here in the core. We have overall fixed the position of the reactors as a set in the cage in the center. So the field has 2 choices only. It can open up, if you look at the center beam and the top reactor and the other 3 reactors in the way, in the base. The field can only go up and down or expand. So now what our detector just outside this what do you call it, the 3 reactors, the 4 reactors, does not come into the sphere. It sits out of the sphere just outside, takes the field of the whole 3 base reactor and the mother reactor on the top, the principal reactor on the top. So when we give you a reading, or what you see a reading, the Z is what is coming from this imaginary empty space plasma, which you read at 74 at the moment, Tesla. This is the X. The Y you see is the same, if it's positive, and the Z you see is positive, X is positive. So this is our Z, this is our X, and this is our Y. So you give three, you see three readings on the panel. So now you have to understand what we are doing and why you see such a thing. And interesting enough, if some of you been going through every minute with us during the process and most probably heard some of our conversation, we thought we are alone in the lab and we usually work as usual way. You should have noticed something very, very important yesterday. Extremely important. When, go through the videos because it's recorded. When we left the lab, we left the radio on. When we came in the morning, it was absolute silent. I was told, I thought that the lab is closed. I don't know, maybe you've seen me there with my dog going and looking at the reactor and seeing what's on. And then this silent was on when the knowledge seekers came about 10 o'clock. It was absolute silent, and I pointed out to the knowledge seekers, did any of you, did you put the radio on last night? And Marco said yes, but it was hardly any noise. He went and listened to the radio. He could hear a very, like a whisper from the radio, very short. And then, as is our usual habit here, we have no timetable in what we do and the things we do. We had a discussion time till about 12:30, 1 o'clock outside the lab, sitting on the chair. We decided, Armand decided he's hungry, he's going to go for lunch. And so Marco and Armand disappeared and I disappeared, and we came back together again at about 3 o'clock, 3:30. And when we came back to the lab, Armand said, it's gone up, it's gone up. It's gone from 72 to 74. And it was exciting to see. Maybe that was a reason we had to go for a lunch. But the most significant thing was that as I was walking away from the lab, I could hear the music. I went back in, I said, are you listening? The noise is back. So what happened is that the total structure, when you look at the detector, sitting outside the plasma of the reactor, has reached so far beyond, I think the radio is what, 4 or 5 meters away? Maybe more, 7, 8 meters away from the core. The influence of the field of this is magnetical field, has reached beyond, and when the gravitational field contracted, the noise was back. But we saw exactly, if you go and watch the program during the time yesterday between I think about 1 o'clock and 3:30 sometimes, you see the increase in the field on the z-axis, which is 74, and simultaneously around that time you should hear the change of the noise in the radio. So this brings back into what we have shown in a very clear way. At the moment we are resetting the reactors. As we reset and we come to, we are doing a special case at the moment. We change things, we don't discuss till it's done, and we see the results. We keep the setting at 74 to see if we can add to the fields, because if we can get pulses higher, then it teaches us more that we are going in the right direction. So this has a huge, significant application. And as I said before, till you don't come to it, I don't teach you. When you come to it, I teach you and I explain to you. Rick has been asking me, would you teach us defense technology, or you do share it with the government? This is a part we share with you and the government, because I think even the government did not understand the significance of the process you had.